So what is function? So function, already we have we use that functions like CMath. In the CMath library we use sqrt, square root, or in some cases sine, cosine, and CST. In the C under CSTDlib library we used rand, srand. Under C time library we use time. So these are the functions. So functions are of two types. One is standard library functions and another is user defined functions. So standard library means the functions that are already in C++. We are just using, but we don't need to make those functions like sine or cos. But besides this, there are lots of functions, or we have to use those functions, or we have to create those functions so that our program will be easier. Okay, how the program will be easier? Just think a concept. Actually, all in our traditional programming, the programming is of two types. One is object-oriented programming and another is modular programming. So for simple program, we use the modular program where the variables are simple, but otherwise we have to go to object-oriented programming. So at first go through that what is the modular programming and why function is necessary. So if you just consider that you want to play a cricket match. Okay, so if it is a cricket match, okay, cricket match. So if cricket in the cricket match, what you have to do? Under cricket match, there are two things. Okay, at first, if you think cricket match is a function or cricket match is the task or the object we have to do. So under that, at first is the toss. So just save that cricket match, cricket function 2. Okay, so under cricket match, what we have to do? At first, toss which team will play at first, and then in the second case, okay, after deciding, then the first team will play. So team 1 will play, team 1 play. So this is one task. Another task is team 2 play. And after completing those match or the game, the result will be shown. Result will be shown with the scorecard. Shown with scorecard. So these are the tasks. Okay. So and within this play, if you write within this play, then we have many things to do. We have to play several overs. Okay, play several overs, or that means innings. Play several over means innings. And within that several overs, what we have to do? So if we in each over play over, okay, play a single over. And within this over, there are 6 balls and 6 balls and some extra ball. If no or wide, then some runs, wicket may fall. So these are the things going on that over. So in this case, if you want to organize this whole concept, okay, so you have to it is better if you use several functions. Okay, for toss, you write a function like make toss. Okay, so this is a function. So its duty is to make a toss. Okay, then team 1 will play. So you will make a function like team play. Okay, and here you will give team 1 opportunity. Then again you call that function team play. There you will give the opportunity for the second team to play. Okay, then what will happen? After completing this, you will show the result or scoreboard. So you make a function named scoreboard. Its task is to show the scoreboard based on some data coming from the playing. And when each team will play, it will return us some value. What? Run. Some run it will give us as a value. Okay. So these are the things in the make toss. It will give us what? It will give us the opportunity to play the toss and give the decision for which team will play, and play means which team will bat at first. So these are the functions. It is not available in C++. It is our demand. It is our requirement. And based on our requirement, we will create those functions. Okay. So these are called the user-defined functions, the functions created by user. Okay. So if you want to make the cricket match like this, then it is a simpler way. And everybody will understand that, okay, this is the scenario, and the program will go step by step in this fashion. And within these functions, you will write down the details, how the toss will work, or how the team will play in scoreboard, what will be in the C out, okay, which data will be represented or shown in the console. So that's within the function. But holistic approach, or in overview approach, you understand that. So these are the functions that we need to make. So that's why the functions concept is a modular concept. That means a part by part. Module means part by part. Like as an example, in our this theory course, we have 14 weeks. So you can say this is a 14 module syllabus, or the scenario, or the course. So each module, there are some things to cover. Okay. And if you just cascade, or if you add all those modules, then the complete picture, or the complete program will be executed. So these are the things. And if you want to just execute this cricket match, so what you will do, you will write integer main, and within integer main, you will do what? You will just write cricket match. Okay. You will just write cricket match, and the cricket match will be played, and then return 0. So the program is very simple. The program is like just call a function cricket match, and everything will be done. So cricket match is the function that will handle all the things related to this playing. And within cricket match, we have to confront several functions, and the functions will be executed sequentially. That means one after another. So this is this is a good example of why we need a function. So before implementing this cricket game, so we just we go through our lab manual, because in the lab manual, the concepts of the functions and how to write this, how to implement this is written in a well-defined way. And if you go through that, it will be convenient for us to cover this chapter. So in the function, so what we said before, that function is of two types. One is standard library function, and another is user-defined function. Okay. By the way, if you have any queries, just raise hand in this Zoom session. So we will answer that, or write in chat box, no problem. Already we know in the C++ library, there are CMath, and under CMath, we use SQRT. So this is also a function. And all the times we are saying function. So function, how you will define function, or how we'll understand that this is the function. So you understand the function if something is written, that means here SQRT, and after that there is a first bracket. Main, integer main, after that there is first bracket. So if some name, and after that name there is a first bracket, so that is called function. That is called function. Okay. So function will, of course, function means function is doing something. So here, if you write SQRT of a certain number, so it means SQRT is a function. It will do something. It will calculate something based on this input. The input is here number, and based on this input, and with this mathematical notation SQRT, it will do something on that number, and after doing that something, it will give a value, and that value will be saved. That value will be stored. That value will be copied to the left side variable. That means square root, or whatever you say. So this is the main action of a function. But instead of writing this ready-made function, I should say ready-made function, or library function, we can write function of our own. A simple example is already in the in this example. Here, just see. So the function integer max. Integer max is the function. It will do what? From the name we understand, max is the function. It will take two or more than two variables, and it will compare between those or among those variables, and it will return which is the maximum value. So this is the function that is written by us. That means that is written by a programmer, not by the compiler, or not by the C++ itself. So it is not a library function. It is written by us. Okay. So before writing these functions, we have to understand what are the parts of a function. So here you see the pattern is written here. At first, you have to write a function name. Okay, you should write a function name. The ruling of the name is similar to the naming of the variable. So in the variable, we cannot give the name with a separate two words. We have to write the name in a single word. Okay, so here the function name, at least you will join two name by underscore. Okay, so function name is similar to variable name. The naming rule is same. Okay, and all the times I suggest you that whatever the name you give, please give in a meaningful way, so that everybody will understand that what the name would be, or the function of, or the activities of that function would be. And within this bracket, some function will take some input value for the calculation, and some we don't need. Okay, so in this case, we need two variables. That means x and y. So that's why we have two parameters. So input is called parameter. So, you can say input or you can say parameter. Both are correct. So after calculation of this with those parameters, the function will do something, calculate something, make some decisions, and after having those decisions, after doing the calculations, the function will return a value. Because you just you read several chapters of the books and take preparation for the exam, but in the exam hall you don't write something, so it is completely meaningless. Okay, so what you have completed, what you have tried, what you have done, we have to show that. Otherwise everything will be in vain. Okay, so what you know, we have to disclose it. Then people will understand that you studied this or you work that activities. Okay, so in this case, so the function will return something. Otherwise people will not understand, or will not understand whether the function will work or not. So it is general case, but there are some functions which will not return anything. Okay, that is called the void functions. We'll go later. So in this case, the function name is max. The function is dealing with two variables. One is integer, another is integer. Okay, so both variables may or may not be same. It is based on the scenario. And after calculation, it will return x or y. And x and y is which type of variable? Integer type variable. So that's why the function will return a integer. So this is the writing or the ruling of a function, how you will write. Okay, and after writing this function, you have to use that function. Okay, so you create something, but you don't use that. Okay, so after before using that function, you have to define. As an example, in this program, you will give two value, two integers, m and n. It will be given from user. Okay, and afterwards you will use that function max of mn. So it will give you either m or n, which is maximum, and that will be in the cout. That means that value will be shown using cout. But the fact is, you cannot use the max function without defining it. So you have to define, you have to write the definition of that function before using that one. Okay, so that is called calling a function. Calling a function means you are calling or you are using that function. So this is done in this line. Okay, so just for simplicity, you can just copy it. You can just copy it and you write in this program and just use whether it will work or not. And of course, before that, as usual, you have to include so if you just execute this, so it will take the two values from the user and it will calculate, then it will invoke or it will call the function max, and the max will be executed. Max will be executed. So here, okay, so the two integers 56, then 34, so maximum is 56, so 56 is the maximum. Here one thing is that if you don't use this function if you don't use this function, let's see whether it will work or not. And again, right, execute this function. Okay, no problem. 56, 78, 76, 78 is the maximum. Now, keep in mind, max function is also just color. See the color. Color is red and bold. So max is also in the C++. So that's why if you don't define the max function, C++ will do that. Okay, but it is not this is not correct for all the compilers. In our code blocks in C++ 11 version, we are calling, or the compiler is automatically invoke or call or use the max functions. So for simplicity, if you just write your function is just write my max, you can say that the function is my max. Okay, so this function is written by you, my max. So this is not as bold, red and bold as before, because my max is the function written by you. So then you have to use instead of writing max, you will write my max. Okay, so this function is written by you, and now it will not be a problem. And it is not a red and bold. That means it is not a function of C++, rather it is written by you. And if we just execute, it will work. And you say minus 98 and minus 77, which will be maximum. Of course, minus 77 will be maximum. Okay, and if you like, you can compare of 3 or 4. So if you just take another variable, integer x, y, and z, integer z, 3 variables. So you can write m, n, and as an example d. So here m, n, and d, enter 3 integers, enter three integers, and m and d. So here m and d is the maximum. Which is the maximum? Then you have to write if x is less than y. So instead of writing in this way, I should say if x is less than y and x is greater than z, then return x. In similar way, else if again you write y is greater than x and y is greater than z, then return what? Return y, else, and else return z. So in this way, you can write the max function, my max function for 3 variable. Okay, so now check whether it will work or not. Here it is asking three variable. One is 7, one is 90, one and is 45. So we have three variables, 7, 90, and 45. And among these three variables, 90 is the maximum. So that is shown here. So this function is written by us. So this is the basic rule. So what is the rule? The rule is you have to write, if you want to use a function, you can use it, no problem. You can give a meaningful name, and the before using that, so in this line we are using these functions, we are calling the function, or we are using this function. So this is the line where we are calling the functions. So these are the lines. Before using that function, you have to define that function. So this is the definition of the function. Definition of the function. Definition of the function means you have to write the function in a complete way. Okay, similar to integer main. So here integer function name, and since it will take a value from the main program, it needs several values or variables to calculate. So you have to mention that one. So integer x, y, z. So in my max is the function which will take three variables of integer type, and it will calculate, or it will make some logical decision among those variables, and it will return x if x is the highest or the maximum, either x or y or z. Okay, and that will be returned. So what we are returning? We are returning integer variable, because x, y, and z all are integer. So if you like, no, we like double, you can write it here. So instead of using integer, you can use double, no problem. So uh, all the time, integer is not mandatory. You can use other types of variables. So if here it is double, and here also you can write your variable is double. Okay, so instead of using integer variable, we can use double variable, no problem. So here 0.678, one number, another is 3.4576, another number is 5.555. Okay, so among these three variable, which is maximum? 5.555 is the maximum. And if you want to just go in a precise way to compare, as an example, 0.98, this is one number, and there is 0.98123. Another number is 0.9812345. Okay, and if you want to write which is the maximum is 0.9812335. Okay, that means the third one. So it can calculate the maximum among three. Okay, and you can write another functions for throw dice. Okay, it is a common practice in a program, because dice throwing dice is common in playing a game. Okay, playing a game, as an example, rock paper scissors is a common game, and you want to play with computer. Okay, you have the option, you can do it by yourself, but you can play with a computer, and within this, and computer will do what you don't know. Okay, you can play chess, you can play card, you can play as an example FIFA, you can play cricket, Brian Lara cricket previously, now different. So you play with computer. So what is the decision coming from computer? You know your decision. You can play rock, paper, scissors, you can give choice. But for the computer will give the choice. That choice will be based on random number. So you have to use this random number. Or you want to play Ludo. Okay, you want to play a card game. So you have to give a random option. Okay, so the random option is coming from random number. Okay, then you have to use that random notation in your program. Okay, so the dice is a common example. So just instead of using this program, we can create another program of throwing the dice. So that function will take a random value. Okay, that will give us the random value, and it is deal with only one one output, no input. Just if you just write a function, as an example, it is throw dice. Okay, throw uh, throw dice is the function dot cpp. Okay, and in this program you will just write you will just throw the dice. So in the integer main you are writing the function throw dice, throw dice. Okay, throw dice is the function you are calling. Now the question is, what is throw dice? So you have to write that. Okay, you have to write that. And throw dice is like void, and the function is throw dice. Okay, and in this function you will just cout is what? Cout will be rand divided by 6 and plus 1. Okay, so this is your throwing the dice. And we know that if you want to use that, you have to use c time. Otherwise your values or the random values will not be random. Okay, so all the time when you want to use random variable, you have to use include c time, and also include cstdlib. So it is, and in the main program you will write srand, and within this srand you will write time, you will write null. Okay, and now throw the dice. So it will, I hope it will work. Now just play this function. So you are throwing a dice and the value is 6. And if you want to execute it again, the value is 5. If you just want to execute again, the value is 2. If you want to execute again, the value is 3. If you want to execute again, the value is 4. And try several times, again value is 2. So you can play dice. So this is the throw dice is the function that is written by you. It is not written by C++. So you are writing these functions for your own benefit. So this is the function. Again, you see, this is the function. It will show you something, but it will not return. That means after throwing the dice, okay, just here, after throwing the dice, you play a game. You are playing a game based on the value coming from dice, based from the value coming from this dice. But this throw dice function is not giving you any value. It is not returning any value, and that value is cannot be used in the next part. So if you want to get a value from a function, you have to write in this way. So you have to write in this way. Here you see d, and here you write integer d is equal to what? This thing. And after showing this value, again you say return d, return d. That means after calculating this variable d, you will return. So now the program is not void. So this throw dice will return a variable, return a value of type what? Of type integer. Now instead of writing void, you have to write integer. And here now you can write in this way. Integer d is a variable, integer d or whatever. If you like integer dice, no problem. Integer dice is a variable. Now dice is what? Dice is equal to throw dice. That means throw dice is the function, and after working this function will return a value. a function will return a value, and that value will be stored in this variable dice. Okay, and afterward, if you have another function, play game, here you can use that function dice. Okay, so in this way, you can execute. For the time being, since we are not using this play game, so we are disabling this line and just execute whether it will work or not. Okay, somebody is asking what is void. Void means null. Void means nothing. It is better to have void means nothing. Void. Okay, void. Void in English. Void means empty. Void means empty. Okay, void means empty. Void means nothing. Okay, so here if you write void, that means this function is calculating, or this function is doing many tasks, but it is not returning anything. Void means when a function is returning nothing, the function is returning no variable, then that function is called void. Okay, we can write a void in this way: void welcome. The name of the function is void welcome. What it will do, it will just show you a line, like welcome, welcome to programming, welcome to programming class triple 1109. So this is a message. It will not give you any, what, not give you any calculation, or it will not give you any value. Okay, so it is just, if we just write in this way, so this void welcome is a function, and you can call here welcome, just write welcome. So welcome is a function, just see here, welcome is a function, okay, it is doing nothing, when the function is called, it is showing what, it is showing welcome to programming class triple 1109, but it is not calculating, it has no input, it has no variable to return, it has no value to return. That's why this is void. So void is a function, when it returns nothing to the main program, or it returns nothing to the program where it is called. So now see, here is another scenario. In the integer main program, we are calling just one function, that means throw dice, which we create throw dice. And in the function throw dice, we are calling another function that is called welcome. So this welcome function that we created is not called in the main program. It is called in the throw dice program. So we understand that it is not mandatory that all the functions will be called in the main program. Okay, maybe your one function created by you will take the advantage of another function. Okay, as what we are saying, that just consider you are writing function one. Okay, and in these functions you take the help of function two. Okay, and when you write function two, within this function two, maybe when you write function two, within this function you can take the help of function three. Okay, so it is called nested functions. That means one function help another. So in your integer main, you are calling function one. Within this function, you are calling function two. And within this function two, you are calling function three. Okay, so just this scenario, you can just think in this way. Your function is what? Is play cricket. Okay, what is your function two? Function two is play innings. And what is your function three? Your function three is what? Play over. Play and over. play and over. I should say play and over. So this is your function 3. So function 1 is the main function, that means the main program for playing cricket, play cricket. Function 2 is for playing the innings, and function 3 is for play and over. So one function depends on another. It can be. So here we are writing in the main function. Again, keep in mind that you have to use integer main. Okay, so without integer main, no program will work. In every example, in every program, okay, whatever the small one or bigger one, you have to write integer main, and within that integer main you have to use other things in a logical way. So in this example we are throwing a dice. So this is the example. So you are initializing a variable dice, you are calling a function throw dice, and in the throw dice function, it will give us a random variable within the range 1 to 6, and that variable is saved, or that value is saved in the variable d, and the value of d will be returned to this dice variable. Okay, so again I say dice is local variable to integer main. So dice is a local variable in this integer main, and here d is local variable in the function what? In the function throw dice. Local variable and global variable. What is local variable and global variable? So in this case, dice in the main program, dice is the variable. In the 38 line, dice is the variable. So this is the local variable. This is available in integer main. If you write here, see out dice. If you write here, see out dice. Sorry, it will be error, because dice is in the main program. Dice is a variable of the main program. Dice is a local variable, I should say here. So dice is local variable in the main. So main program knows dice. This throw dice is another function, or another function. It knows about d, because d is the variable that is uh, initiated in this block. So this throw dice, they understand d, but this throw dice function, it doesn't know about this variable dice. So it will be error. Again, if you write here d is equal to 89, this is a problem, because our main program know about dice. This is a variable. Our main program, it doesn't know about the variable d, but variable d is common or local. This variable d is local in this throw dice function, but this variable is not known to this main program. Vice versa, this dice variable dice is common or available or local for this main function, but this dice variable is not understood or known to this function. So d is local for throw dice, dice is local for main. So so what's the value that throw dice give? Actually, throw dice return d. Return d means what? It is returning the value of d. So dice will ultimately, after executing this line, what is dice is taking the value, I should say dice is taking the value of what? Value of d, and d is the function, d is the variable, of what? D is the variable of throw dice. So dice is a variable in the main program, and when the function is called throw dice, dice will take the value of what? Take the value of d. Take the value of d coming from this throw dice function. Coming from this throw dice function, the value of d is returned, and returned to where? Where the function is called. So in this 41 number line, the function throw dice is called, and the value of d will be available in this line. That means dice is equal to d. It is not taking the variable, it is just taking the value. The value of d will be saved in dice. Okay, not the variable itself. Okay, so again we come to this part in our lab manual. So next topic is the function prototype. What is function prototype? So we already know that this is the function definition. Definition means how the function is working. That is called function definition. And now the function prototype. Function prototype is the title line, the first line of that function. So if you just see in this example, so here we are in the integer main, we are using this max function. So if you want to use a function written by you, you have to mention that before. So what we want to use, we have to mention that before. But good thing is that you don't need to write the function completely. Here you see, here just you say integer max, integer x, integer y, bracket, and then semicolon. You are not writing the whole function, but you have to write it afterwards. Okay, so it is another way. You write the definition here, but in this line 4, you are writing what? You are writing declaration. So that is called function prototype or function declaration. Here you are declaring a function, and here you are defining a function. So I should write in this way. I should write in this way. So you are here, you are declaring. So here you are declaring, a function. You are declaring a function, and here you are defining a function. You are defining a function. So this is your function definition, and here this is your function declaration. In function declaration, you can write again another way. This is called function prototype. Function prototype. Function prototype means function declaration. You are declaring these functions, and in this line, you are using these functions. So here, function is invoking. You are using, you can say you are using this function, or you can say you are calling this function, or you can say you are invoking these functions. So these are the words that are used. So in the main program, you are using this function. So in the main, and so that is called you are using or calling or invoking. And before that, you are declaring a function that is called function prototype. And after the main, you are writing the function in details. That is called function definition, or defining a function. So these are the three part of a function. At first, you want to use a function. Then the question come, you have to use a function that is not common in C++. Okay, so you have to say your program that you want to use these functions, and that saying or mentioning the function before using it is called declaring a function or function prototype. So in this line 4, you are writing integer max, integer x, then semicolon, but you are not completing the whole function. And after the integer main, you are writing the whole function. So that is called defining the function. So function definition, either you can write this complete definition before, or you are just write the declaring function or the prototype, and afterwards you are completing the function in full or incomplete way. So this is actually, this part is more common. We generally don't write the function details before integer main. We generally do it afterwards. We are just here in the integer main. We are using that, and in order to use this one, we have to write it before. So that is called function prototype. Now, another example, that is your factorial example. Factorial means what? You know that factorial means we are calculating a variable, multiplication of that variable, starting from 1 up to that variable. That means if it is 6, then you have to calculate 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 into 6. Or in reverse order, you can say that if the value is 6, that means 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So up to 1. From that number, you are decreasing, and up to 1, you are calling that function. So that is called the factorial functions. So factorial, you can use that factorial, and this is the function. Instead of writing fact, you are taking this, that is the whole calculation in separate functions, but in the main program, you are writing factorial of several numbers, like you are calling the multiplication table. Okay, multiplication table of any number you like. So in this program, you are writing this fact. Okay, just if you just copy these things, and so here we are using this factorial function. And since factorial, this term uses within several term, it goes a big value. So we use long, or in some cases, if you like, you can take long integer, so that you can calculate or use a better range. Okay, so just save it as fact function, or give some name of factorial. If you like, just factorial.cpp, and here we are using that function. Format use a style, and here what? So integer main is the function, and within this function, you are calculating factorial of different values from 1 to 6. Okay, or you can give the range from user, and in this loop you are calling a function fact I. So if your number is 6, you just call fact with the value 6 and the factorial functions. So when you are, so in this line, in line number 10, you are calling these functions. Here you are calling the function. Okay, and in line number 4, when you call these functions, the program will go from 10 to line 4. So here it is, you are declaring a function, declaring the function. Okay, you're declaring the function, and from line number 10, it will go to line number 4, and from line number 4, it will go to line number 15. So calling the functions means now it is going to line number 4, and in this line number 4, the function is written. That means it is just introductory of that function, and the function declaring the function, and it will go to line number what? Line number 15. Line number 15 is the function definition, and here this is the definition of the function. So this is the definition of the function, and here it is written in details how this factorial will work. Okay, and after calculating this, the function is returning what? The function is returning the value f. Okay, it will returning the value f. So it is better to write, instead of integer, I should say we should write long integer, because the function is long. Okay, the value integer n, that means taking the integer value, but when it is multiplied and the multiplication values will be in the f is greater range, then it should be use either long, or you can use long. Okay, so that it will accommodate more value. If you like integer, no problem, but it will take it can retain or keep less value. Now just execute this program. I hope it will work. There will be no problem, I think. Okay, so here factorial of 1 is what? 1, factorial of 2 is 2, factorial of 3 is 6, factorial of 4 is 24, 5, 6, and if you like, you can go through more of that. That means if it is like factorial of 12, so let's see. And to make this line more straightforward, I should say factorial factorial of what? Factorial of, I can say factorial of I, factorial of I, and we can write factorial of I is, or for is you can write a equal sign, and then doing this after fact, or you can say slash n. So every time it goes to new line, and in the new line it shows factorial of I is what? I is, the value is fact I. Okay, and we are calculating from 1 to 12, so let's see whether it will work or not. Okay, so now factorial of 1 is 1, factorial of 2 is 2, factorial of 3 is 6, factorial of 4 is 24. So in this way it goes on. Okay, so these are the implementation of this function factorial. So now the next part is what? The void function. Already we discussed a function. If a function is not calculating any value, or if a function is not returning any value, so that is called a void functions. Like a welcome message, welcome to this programming class. So this is there is no dealing with any kind of number. Okay, so here print date, it will show you the value of day, month, and year. Okay, so print date, it will not giving you any value. It is taking a value. As an example, in this case, this print date. So print date is a function. Print date is a function. It will take three value: month, day, and year. And in the print date functions, it takes month, day, and year. And based on the value of month, day, and year, it shows a line. Okay, so the date is what? The date is something, but it is not returning any value. It will just show you the message that today the date is like this. Okay, so the date is like this. And this program, it is a good program in the sense that when a user will give a value of month. Okay, so month will be within 1 to 12, within 1 to 12. So that security is shown, or this security is calculated in this program. So month, if the month is less than 1, that is a problem. If the month is greater than 12, that is a problem. In a similar way, if the day is less than 1, or the day is greater than 31, or year is less than 0. Okay, year can be less than 0. Less than 0 means called, actually we know that before the Christ, BC, and AD, after the death of Jesus Christ, as mentioned in the Roman calendar, so, or the Gregorian calendar. So why less than 0 is not the problem, but in our case we are considering that we are counting the year from the birth of Jesus Christ. So we are considering no negative value for the year. So these are the problems. So if the problematic scenario will arise, we are not calculating. What we are doing, we are just writing cout error. Here is the error, and return. Again, see, here we are not returning any value. Return means we stop, we go. Return means what? Return means come back to the place where you are called. That means in this program, in the main program, you are writing a loop. do while loop, and in this loop you are calling in the 17 number line, you are calling print date. Okay, in the 17 number line you are calling the functions, and when you go to these functions, if the value is not appropriate or the value is not within the range, so what will happen? The program will return. The question is where the program will return. The function will return to the line where it is called. So this function print date is called in the line number 17. In the line number 17. So after, from this line number 17, the program is going to this line number 4, and from the line number 4 it goes to line number 22, and in the 22 the program or the function will execute. And when it wants to execute, if the range is not appropriate, if the range is not within a practical limit, the program will show that error parameter out of range. And what it will do? It will return. Again, the question comes, this is the void function. So void function will return what? Void function actually will return nothing. Here return means it go back to. Return means it goes back to the line where it is called. That means it again go to the line number 17. Okay, so this is if you don't write return, then the question will be, okay, the range is out of it is out of range, so what we will do? Of course we will not calculate. If the range is out of if the day, month, year is out of range, it is completely meaningless to calculate or show whether it is January or December. Okay, so it is meaningless, so we don't need to calculate further. So rather we will just here show that return. Return means go back to the place where you are called. That means in line number 17. Okay, and since it is a loop, do while loop, so it will continue to asking the value from the user, and it will show day, month, year. And if you want to stop this program, what is the value? The month should be greater than 0. So if you don't like to continue this function more, so you will give the month value as some negative value and the program will stop. So in this example 04, what we are learning is that if you want to use a function, at first when you are calling a function, you have to mention the function. That means return value. If it is void, then you have to write void, function name, and the variable that it is dealing with. So here, if you like, you can write integer day, month, integer year, or just you write the variable type. That is also sufficient. In the function, this line is called, again we say this line is called function what? We already say it is uh, it is function prototype. It is function prototype. This is function prototype. And prototype means function declarations, or you can say function declaration. And in this line you are just mentioning the return type, function name, and what categories of variable it will deal with. What categories of variable it will deal with. And after that, semicolon. So this is the function prototype. This is called. And here is the complete implementation. Okay.